Welcome to the East Coast Reflector TechNet. My name is Kevin. My call sign is Kilo Echo 7 Kilo. I'll be your net controller for the first portion of tonight's net. As always, we have a question of the night that we'd like everybody to answer. And tonight's question is, have you ever operated as a special event station? Have you operated as a special event station? Each week we have an order to the net, and we begin with the swap and shop listing. Then we take users new to the TechNet. Then we'll do amateur radio related technical questions. And then we will do general check-ins with text check-ins at the top and general check-ins below that. I've got Vicky on the log and Roger helping me with the second half of the net. Just a couple announcements, ECR-related announcements. For anyone wondering about Dick, he's dealing with a medical issue. He's expected to make a full recovery and will be home in a couple weeks. So watch out. He'll be back on the air soon, and I'm sure he'll be very happy to talk to everybody. So Dick will be back in a couple weeks, and that'll be Dick. Second announcement is due to school being out for the summer, we are going to suspend the youth net over the summer months. We're still going to have a net on Friday evenings at the same time, but we'll sometimes it'll be a pop-up net, sometimes it may be some coasters. If you're part of the Quest program, that might be a good time to catch somebody you can't normally hear. So those are the two announcements I have. We'll get the net going here and throw it up to Kevin, VE3BZ, for tonight's swap and shop listing.
Well, thank you, Kevin, and good evening, everyone. And I will start by answering tonight's question, and that is no. All right, well, tonight's swap and shop portion is going to be pretty short. I only have one listing, and that is from KB2DY in Amityville, New York. Pete is looking for an MFJ 935 B or C loop antenna. And if you can help him out, just give him an email or send him an email at dypete@aol.com. That's dypete@aol.com. He's good on QRZ also, and that's KB2DY. And that's all I have. If you have anything that you would like to list, just go to eastcoastreflector.com, click on Contact ECR, and then SwapNet submissions, or just email me directly at ve3bz@rogers.com. All right, thank you very much, Kevin. Back to you, VE3BZ. Roger that, 803.
Thank you for putting that together each week, Kevin. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll move on to the new user portion of the TechNet. This is a chance, if you have not checked into this net before, you can get right up at the top. You may have been on the Reflector before. You may have checked into other nets before. That doesn't matter. If you haven't checked into the TechNet before, you can be right up top. Users new to the TechNet, please come now with your call sign.
Sierra Alpha 7 Alpha United X-Ray in southeast of Sweden. And my name is Björn, Bravo Juliet, Oscar Romeo November.
Echo 2 Delta Oscar Sierra KE2DOS.
Kilo Charlie 0 Mike November X-Ray KC0.
I've checked with a couple different nets, but I'm not ever sure if this one's net control.
All right, let's hold it up right there. We got a couple things to straighten out here. First of all, I missed Matthew, who checked in via the text line. It is a new KE8ALE. We have KE2DOS, Vincent, KC0MNX, John. The station in Sweden, happy to have you with us. Could you come back with your full call, please?
My call sign is Sierra Alpha 7 Alpha United X-ray. Sierra Alpha 7 Alpha United X-ray. And QTH southeast of Sweden.
This is KE8ALE Kilo Echo 8 Alpha Lima Echo.
All right, Matthew, we got you. And the Sweden station, we got you, SF7AUX. Thank you for joining us. And there was one more station that was coming in on the Oregon, Ohio IRLP node. If that was you, please come back with your full call. Right, nothing heard. We'll run these 4 stations and maybe we'll pick you up next round. Matthew in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Welcome to the TechNet and welcome to the East Coast Reflector. Looks like we don't have you in our database. KE8ALE. Matthew, feel free to introduce yourself if you like and answer tonight's question. Have you ever operated as a special event station?
This is KE8ALE. Yes, I'm in Grand Rapids. I grew up in Florida, but born in Greece. No, I have not operated a special event station. And yes, I am new here. I kind of have came back off and on the radio. Glad to be here, and thank you.
Glad to have you, Matthew. Thank you for checking in. I believe you said your name was Ron in Sweden, SF7AUX. Welcome to the net, Ron. Feel free to introduce yourself. And have you ever operated as a special event station?
I think you have misunderstood my call sign. Sierra Alpha 7 Alpha United X-ray. I think I have done the special event station sometimes on North Coast in outside of Gothenburg or in the north side of Gothenburg in the East Sea there. And that was a couple of years ago. And today I am disabled because of multiple sclerosis. And I'm sitting and rewrite my website for my Switchling hotspot from RF Guru that I'm using for my system here. So I am connecting from hotspot to my own Switchling Reflector and go to a hub and from that hub over to you. So that is what I'm doing the most of the time. Computer, radio, and DMR. I have my own server. So you can check it on Sierra Alpha 7 Alpha United X-ray.sc. And there you have me. And I'm in listening mode here, so I should go to bed soon. That is late here for me. After 2 o'clock a.m. here in the morning or night. So have a nice day, and I'm listening to our sleeping Sierra Alpha 7 Alpha United X-ray, and my name is Björn, Bravo Juliet Oscar Romeo November.
Very good, Bjorn. Appreciate you checking in, and we got the call sign corrected. Sierra Alpha 7, Alpha Uniform X-Ray. Thanks for joining us from Sweden. Next up is Vincent in Antwerp, New York, KE2DOS.
Okay, hello everybody on the net. This is KE2DOS. My name is Vincent. I am in Antwerp, New York, which is northern New York, not very far from the Canadian border up here. My question is I have not operated a special event station. However, I've logged several, and perhaps it's in my future. So back to net, KE2DOS.
Very good, Vincent. Thank you for joining us this evening. Last on the list at the moment is John in Bixby, Oklahoma, KC0MNX. Good evening, John.
Good evening to everyone on the net. First time checking in, new to All-Star. Just built and got my node up and running about a week ago. So still trying to tweak things, but I think I've got it finally dialed in pretty close from what I've been told. So to answer the question, I've never operated a special event station, but I am interested in that. And unfortunately, I missed field day this year. I had some prior commitments, but thanks for hosting the net, and look forward to hearing everyone and participating in the future. KC0MNX, Bad Net Control.
All right, 7-3, John. Node sounds great, and thanks for checking in and doing your part. Okay, that's the end of the log at the moment. We're still taking check-ins for users new to the TechNet. If that's you, please come now with your call sign.
Kilo 4 Alpha Delta Foxtrot.
All right, we got a couple to work through here. Was it VK4ADF or the similar? Could you come back and confirm your call sign, please?
VK4NK. Kilo Charlie for November 0. Miami Beach.
Okay, Neil, we got you, KC4NK. Stand by just for a second. There was another station, a VK4 station. Could you come back with your full call, please?
Yes, Victor Kilo 4 Alpha Delta Foxtrot, coming through the YSF reflector.
Yeah, QSL, Jason, we got you, VK4ADF. And you're first up here. Welcome to the TechNet. Have you ever operated as a special event station?
VK4 Alpha Delta Foxtrot. No, I haven't operated a special events station. And good evening, good morning to everyone on frequency. First time I've called in. And, it's on the east coast of Australia, about 100 kilometres north of Brisbane, capital city. But no, I haven't operated any special event station for the question there. Controller from VK4 ADF.
All right, very good, Jason. Thank you for checking in. All right, Neil, Miami Beach, Florida, KC4NK. Welcome to the TechNet. Have you ever operated as a special event station?
technical question.
Yeah, thanks for checking in, Neil. The technical questions will be the next segment after we finish pulling in any new users that we can. So stand by if you can, and we'll pick up your question. This is KE7K with the East Coast Reflector TechNet. If you are a user new to this net, please come now with your call sign.
KR4 MYR.
Kilo Romeo 4, Kilo November X-ray out in Colorado.
All right, I recognize two stations, KR4MYR and KR4KNX. Daniel and Nate, stand by just for a second. The station that I did not recognize, your audio is awfully distorted. I'm not sure we're going to be able to pull you out. Give it another shot. If you tried to check in and were not recognized, please come now with your call sign.
KC3LR Kilo Charlie 3 Zulu Lima Romeo.
Okay, Eva, KC3ZLR, got you that time in Glen Burnie, Maryland. What we're hearing was two stations coming into that same repeater doubling. So, was there another station in the Glen Burnie, Maryland area that was trying to check in? Please come now with your call.
K680F, Kilo 6, Alpha Delta Sierra.
Hey, good afternoon. Andrew, KC6ADS, will have you stand by. Looks like you've checked in with us 14 times. So stand by for the general check-ins if you could. And then the Papa Delta station. Papa Delta, try it one more time. And nothing from the Papa Delta station. Daniel in Monroe, Virginia. Daniel, looks like you're new to the Reflector as a whole. If you get your email address public on QRZ, we'd love to send you a welcome letter. But in the interim, why don't you come back and introduce yourself and answer tonight's question. Have you ever operated as a special event station? KR4MYR. This is KE7K.
KR4MYR. My first event was at Field Day. I recently got my license the 14th of this month, and I did the Get on the Air station with my son and myself. So it was real fun. And, I'm looking forward to participating in more contests and definitely Field Day next year.
Very good, Daniel. Good to get your family involved there. Thanks for checking in. Nate in DuPont, Colorado, KR4KNX. Nate, are you still with us? KR4KNX. Nothing heard out of Nate. We'll try him again here in just a second. Eva in Bernie, Maryland. Welcome to the TechNet. KC3ZLR. Good evening. Have you ever operated as a special event station?
Hello, this is KC3ZLR, and yeah, I think I have operated a special event station, so yeah, KC3ZLR.
Thanks for checking in, Eva. Let's try Nate one more time, KR4KNX. Nate, are you back with us, bud? All right, nothing heard. We picked up Norman on the text line, who's a new user. Norman into DZD. Good evening. Have you ever operated as a special event station?
All right, good evening. It's to DZD. No, I not. That's about all I can add to it right now. Thank you.
Okay, Norman, appreciate you checking in. This is your net control station for the East Coast Reflector TechNet. We are currently amassing a list of new users not checked into this net before. If you'd like to augment that list, please come now with your call sign.
Whiskey X-Ray 9, India Tango X.
Chris from Bowling Green, Ohio.
Okay, Rachel, we got you, WX9ITX. And Chris, we got you, but we missed your call sign. What's your call sign there in Bowling Green?
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Foxtrot Alpha Sierra, KF8FAS.
All right, Chris, got at that time, KF8FAS. Looks like you have checked into this net before, so we'll ask you to stand by for just a few more minutes. Check-ins. Rachel in Tinley Park, Illinois, WX9ITX. That's a cool call sign. Welcome to the net. Have you ever operated as a special event station?
WX9ITX. Not precisely, though I operated on a club station that is pretty special. I'm currently in Southern California. We'll be moving to an inland estate in a couple months, but I have operated, my parents live down here, W6RO, which is more of a club station, but a special club station because it is aboard the Queen Mary, and we used it for a field day in the Long Beach Club. I'm currently wandering around Sixland, and that was pretty special because people are like, "Oh, are you the Queen Mary? Are you on board?" So yeah, not exactly a special event station, but a very special club call. So anyway, this is WX9 ITX back to net control.
All right, Rachel, thank you for checking in. And this seems like a good time for me to answer the question. I also have not operated as a special event station, but similar to you, Rachel, I have operated W7SUB, which is a station on board the USS Blueback submarine that's moored in the Willamette River here in Portland at OMSI, Oregon Museum of Science and Energy. So not exactly a special event station, but a cool station nonetheless. Thanks for participating. All right, let's make another call for any users new to the TechNet. New users only, please.
Control, this is Kilo Romeo 4 with Yankee Steve in Durham, North Carolina.
Yeah, the KR4 station. I think we missed the suffix because the name's not matching up with what you said. Would you mind coming back with your full call, please? All right, let's try this again. The KR station, could you come back with your full call, please?
Control, this is Kilo Romeo 4 with Steve in
How dare I not trust Vicky? She nailed it. KR4WYC, Steve, thanks for your patience. Welcome to the TechNet and welcome to the Reflector. Looks like this is the first time you've been on the air with us. Have you ever operated as a special event station?
I have not. I, 3 months, over 3 months. I tech ticket back in March for my gym. Had that for about a month, and
Okay, Steve, you broke up there a little bit at the end, but it sounds like you got your general about a month ago, so congratulations on that. And welcome to the hobby and welcome to the Reflector. Thanks for checking in this evening. All right, how about a final call? Final call for any users new to the TechNet. Please come now with your call sign.
Kilo 7 Foxtrot Quebec Zulu. This is Bubba.
November 5, November, Yankee Lima.
All right, Michael, we'll ask you to stand by for just a minute. Looks like you have checked in with us before. Just wait for the general check-ins coming up here after the question portion of the net. Bubba, KK7FQZ, good evening. Have you ever operated as a special event station?
No, I have not, sir.
Well, there you go. Thanks for checking in, Bubba, and participating. Welcome to the TechNet. Okay, I'll close up the new user portion, and we'll move on to the question portion of the net. If you have an amateur radio-related technical question, please come now with your call sign.
KK7 Kilo 6 Alpha Delta Sierra.
K6 ADS, Andrew, we got you. And Bubba, I saw your note key up again there, so we'll keep in the log KK7 FQZ. Andrew, you're first up. Go ahead with your question, please.
Thank you, Net Control. I just wanted to say I was helping Eva with her radio. She was off frequency on that first transmission, and then you called for Glenn Burney's repeater or anyone else that was in there, so that's why I jumped in there. Other than that, no question. I just wanted to explain how I got in line there accidentally for the New Year's Eve. So back to Net Control, K6ADS.
Yeah, okay, Andrew. Appreciate that explanation. No big deal at all, and appreciate you helping her out and getting her on frequency. I knew something sounded funny about it, but I couldn't place what it was. Bubba, KK7 FQZ, welcome back. Been a long time, Bubba. Go ahead with your question.
I'm new to DMR, and I'm just curious, because I can only hit one DMR station from my house. Now, can I put in any channel that I want, like 9104 for Arizona? And can I put that in there, or do they have to have it before I put that in there, is my question.
Well, you found the hole in my knowledge, Bubba. We'll throw it out to the group. First of all, I would say make sure you check with whoever operates that repeater and make sure that they want people to have access to steer at different places. But beyond that, would anybody like to comment on how to steer a DMR repeater?
WX9 India Tango X-ray.
Yeah, go ahead, Rachel.
Well, the thing is, the repeater owners has to have it, and the best way to find that is to either contact them or their club, and sometimes it is on their website, and sometimes it is searchable on a database. But basically, you have what is there, and you have to know which frequent or which talk groups they allow. So sometimes it is good to see if there's a local. I know one in Wisconsin where they list it on repeater. India Tango X-ray.
I appreciate that information, Rachel. Bubba, does that point you in the right direction?
Yes, it did. Thank you, Rachel, and thank you, sir. That answered my question, and I'll just be out here listening. This is KK7 FQZ.
All right, Bubba, thank you for participating, and I see you're in Tolleson, Arizona. I used to go there quite a bit for work. I work for Costco, and they've got a distribution center there. Thanks for checking in. All right, the East Coast Reflector TechNet is again open for anybody with an amateur radio-related technical question. Please come now with your call sign.
These people can
Hey, good evening, Neil. KC4NK. I believe you were the station I was talking to yesterday. Maybe you can confirm, and I can help relay the information. You're in the high rise there, and trying to several different antennas on your HT, and can't seem to improve your signal.
Yes, Kevin. Thank you. You have a good memory. Briefly, I have a new HT, the VTech, when I replaced the rubber ducky with another antenna, water wave, with 38 wave. It does not work as well as the rubber ducky, which is totally contrary to the theory. Does anybody have any ideas? Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, okay, Neil. I'm glad you came back. I'll kind of you're sounding better today. So it may just be an improvement in the past there, but you're much more readable today. What I remember from my conversation with Neil is he's in a high rise. He's about 40 miles from the repeater in Fort Lauderdale. The repeater is due north of his building, and I believe he has a balcony on the west side. But he has an HT. He tried a quarter whip antenna and another aftermarket antenna on the HT. Think he was running 8 or 10 watts. That might not be correct, but he doesn't seem to be seeing any improvement with the quarter wave, and trying to figure out if he should be, or if the stock antenna has some sort of matching network to make more efficient than an aftermarket whip. So anybody with a comment on that, maybe David, K4FXC, if you're around, David, please come now.
Try this one too.
All right, Rachel, make it 2 for 2.
Well, 40 miles is pretty long to try to make it. I am in Southern California at the moment, and I sometimes try to make it 34 miles, and it is pretty bad. Hitting a repeater doesn't mean you sound good. I've learned that. And sometimes I found standing outside and standing at a particular point and don't move improves it a lot, but it's not comfortable. And sometimes on some of the 20 miles, well, not meter, it depends where you are and where the repeater is, whether you can hit it or not. And so there was a repeater, I think, in the upper 20s, and I've had a hard time hitting it with an HT, and that's all I have. Let me rekey. I would recommend, thinking about this distance, thinking about standing outside in the balcony. At the least, try near a window, but I find outside to be the best. But again, it depends on where you are and where the repeater is, and sometimes it's just, nope, I'm sorry. And sometimes you just have to find a better way to get on. Like on here, obviously, it's too far for me, miles and miles away to get on All-Star, or even the wind system. I'm too far to hit that to get on their All-Star note, their ASL note. So, yeah, probably not helpful in getting better, but maybe some answers. I don't know. Anyway, this is Whiskey X-Ray 9, India Tango Central.
All right, thanks for that, Rachel. And then we got another great suggestion from Vicky. Neil, you're showing up as Miami Beach, Florida. Is that where you actually are located?
Yes. And I'm quite satisfied. 3 miles away. I'm actually South Beach, which is just from the repeater. My employee who and I'm looking for antennas. A little more game than the level jump. But thank you all for your help, and we'll continue trying to help as well. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, of course, Neil. Well, let me pass on what Vicky, our logger, had to say. So she was much smarter than all of us and actually just looked at the map. And we have a repeater in Hollywood, Florida, that is in between you and Fort Lauderdale. So that might be a better option for you. Trying to get you the frequency here. Do you have a piece of paper, Neil?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, Neil, the Hollywood repeater that's connected up to the East Coast Reflector carries the call sign of WF2C, WF2C, and the frequency is 444.150. I don't have in front of me what the PL tone is. Maybe I'll see if anybody on that repeater can tell us that real quick. But that might be a better option for you, Neil. 444.150. I assume a standard offset. And let me throw it out to the group. Anybody in Hollywood, Florida, using the Hollywood, Florida repeater that could confirm the shift and the PL tone on that machine?
Hey, K7K, take you for a while we're in. I can't look at the repeater book while I'm in the repeater book. You should be able to find it if he has access to the internet.
Yeah, copy that. And again, Vicky's one step ahead of us. Neil, the offset, it is a positive 5 megahertz offset. And the tone is 88.5. 88.5 for that machine there in Hollywood, Florida on 444.150. Did you catch that?
Yes, Kevin, and that is a great suggestion. When the net is old, I'm going to try it. Thank you so much. There may be a solution for all my problems. You've done it, Kevin. Thank you, and thank you, group.
Comment, please.
Well, you're welcome. welcome, Neil. Another satisfied customer is always nice. Hope that machine works for you better, and I'll be listening out for you after the net. Bubba, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I can hit from my house almost 80 miles. And when I first started, I had an HT, but I had a mag mount on a stop sign on my kitchen table. And it was a Comet 2x4, and it's a nice antenna, but it's a 5/8 wave. And it's about, 30, not even 30 inches, maybe 2.5 feet tall. And you can put it on a pie pan or, a flat cookie sheet and just put it on your table or on your back patio if you have one. And they work very well. Comet 2x4, that would be my suggestion. Thank you, sir, and this is KK7 FQZ.
Very good, Bubba. Hopefully Neil heard that. I think he's trying to figure out what's going on with his current setup, but yeah, absolutely. An old mag mount on a pizza pan. I ran that for quite a while myself. Excuse me, quite a while myself, and works just great. Appreciate your participation again, Bubba. All right, East Coast Reflector TechNet is again open for any amateur radio related technical questions. Please come now. This is KE7K. We are looking for amateur radio-related technical questions. If you have one of those, come back with your call sign.
Whiskey Alpha 9 Zulu Papa Mary W9Z PM outside Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, Mike, go ahead with your question.
Yeah, I did know I noticed your voice on the peaks is sometimes clipping. Sounds like digital clipping. One thing I do find, I've got ham VoIP with a radioless node. And I did find that I had to adjust the audio levels on it, and there is a simple USB with the audio levels in there, the DSP audio level and the receive audio level, which is the audio going into All-Star. I usually, I have those set at 500, which is the middle of the range as a starting point. And I hope I'm not clipping. Over.
I appreciate the heads up there, Mike. I am on a radioless node. I'm actually have a headset with it, and the microphone is a flexible gooseneck kind of thing. So I tend to not be real consistent about where I place it, but I will make sure to do that in the future. And I should probably keep up the VU meter we have on the website up during nets to make sure that I'm not deviating. But I appreciate you letting me know. I moved it away a little bit on this one, and looks like I am more in line. Thanks for the heads up, Mike.
Okay, W9ZP, I'll be clear on the side, but listening.
This is KE7K, looking for any users with amateur radio-related technical questions. Please come now. All right, little ping-ponging there of nodes. Let me make one final call for anybody with an amateur radio-related technical question. Please come now. K5 ASL with a question. Kilowatt 5 Alpha Sierra Lima. Okay, Charlie, K5 ASL. I'll pass it to you here in just a second. The Skunks Work Hub there in Texas, I'm guessing you're coming back with a long tail after everybody else's transmissions. If you can put a little effort into that, we would appreciate it. Charlie, K5 ASL, go ahead with your question. Okay, it's about a long wire antenna. I've got it aimed kind of west to east, and I live about 60 miles north of the Gulf. Would it be better if I'm trying to work towards Alaska in that direction, have a more north-south orientation versus the east to west? I got a kind of inverted V also at the V here. Okay, Charlie, let's throw it out to the group. Charlie's got a long wire that's currently oriented east to west, and he's 60 miles north of the Gulf, and he's trying to get more into Alaska and that area. Would he be better off orienting his antenna north-south or keeping it as it is east-west? If you have a comment, please come down.
KE7K, K4FXC. K4MMX.
All right, David got you, K4FXC, and Craig, K4MMX. Dave, I'm going to pass it to you. Actually, I'm going to let Charlie pass it to you, just so he can clarify. Charlie, when you say that it's east to west, are you talking about tip to tip, or are you talking the broad side of the antenna? K5 ASL, go ahead, and then David, you can pick it up after that. Okay, it's tip. One tip is aimed towards the west, and the other end is kind of northeast, but more east. I can't really say that it's not really true east, but it's a little bit to the north because of the way my trees are. But anyway, anyway, go ahead. Thank you. K5 ASL.
A couple more questions, K4FXC. How high is it? You said it was in an inverted V configuration, and also how long it and what bands are you trying to use?
80 through 10, I'm not exactly sure. I tune on 80 through 10 pretty good. It's about 35 feet up at the apex, or where the connector goes into the bowing. And I'm not sure if it's an off-center fed. I think one leg's a little bit longer. It's been up there for about 20 years. But I've moved one of the legs of the wire recently, and they're not that high off the ground. They're probably about 15 feet off the ground. So it's not exactly, it's more like a slope, I guess, more than an inverted V, because it's only about 35 feet up at the center. Okay, so.
All right, well, since you're saying that 80 through 10, I'm guessing it's probably about 135 feet long or something in that ballpark for the total length of the antenna?
QSL.
All right. Well, at that height above ground, for most of the bands, it's going to be almost an omnidirectional antenna. It's certainly not going to show significant directional characteristics. Once you get up toward 10 meters and all, even with it at 35 feet off the ground, 10 meters in that ball, the higher HF bands, then it will become more directional, and you'll end up with it as long at 135 feet approximately long. On the higher bands, it will start to get kind of in-fired, meaning you'll get a kind of a cloverleaf pattern off of it rather than a broadside or anything else. So it's for 80 and 40, then it's going to be almost an omnidirectional antenna, I would guess. Even though it's it doesn't really matter how it's oriented, just with that height above ground. Once you get up toward 20 meters, it's really hard to say. 15 and 10, I would expect. It's getting a clover leaf, so you've got more of an east-west pattern, though it's not going to be truly east-west with it being that short. It'll be sort of east northeast, or and then kind of east southeast, and the equivalents on the west side, but it is hard to say with that type of configuration. What you can do is, if there's some beacons in Alaska, find them first off and try to listen for them and see if you make a small antenna small change in the antenna, if it makes a change in the beacon. That would be one indicator that you could use. Of course, propagation might be changing at the same time, which might make that kind of challenging as well. But at that height, it's really hard to tell in that configuration what the overall pattern would be. Is my opinion about it. You could try to model it in some of the EasyNet software out there with some of the high performance models, and it may help to some degree, but even that is still going to be kind of hard to tell for sure. All I can say is if it's not working, then kind of move it a little bit and see if it works any better, would be my take on it. I have definitely worked Alaska with an antenna in that more or less configuration in the past, so it is possible, but you have to wait for Mother Nature's propagation switch to work in the proper direction. K4FXC, back to net.
All right, very good, David. Thanks for jumping in. Good to hear you. You always have great, thorough explanations. Charlie, is that helpful? Yeah, that's awesome. I really appreciate that information. Thanks, Dave. And it works great northeast. I could work that away, no problem, all the way up to Newfoundland, but it seems like I just can't hear anything from out that direction. So that's just kind of, or from Alaska. I mean, I've worked Japan, believe it or not, and I only run 100 watts. Well, I run 50 watts on FT, or 40 watts on FTA. I appreciate it again. Thanks for the info. K5ASL. All right, very good, Charlie. And stand by for one more comment here. Craig, K4MMX, what do you have?
Well, first I'd like to admit that David is way more knowledgeable in this topic than I am. I can only speak from a little bit of experience I have using a G5 RV, but not the big one. It's one that goes from 40 up to 10, and experience has been that it's pretty directional most of the time from the broad side. In other words, if you have my experiences, when I had mine set up, I was going east to west, and most of the stations that I got were from the north and, up to Canada, and I was getting a lot of South American stations. And it really didn't matter what band I was on. But that was just my experience, and I don't remember the dimensions, but I believe David's explanation is correct. He knows way more about it than me. So that's all I got. K4 MMX, back to net.
Excuse me. appreciate your participation, Craig. We just passed 6 p.m., well, I guess 9 p.m. on the East Coast. If you have an amateur radio-related technical question, please come now with your call sign.
This is KE2GVV, Kilo Echo 2 Golf Victor, Steve in New Jersey. I'm currently running a 3-foot end-fed half wave as a inverted V. My question is, does it matter if I have it running north to south or south to north as far as where the feed point goes? I just want to try different things before I hang a dipole, which will be my eventual setup, hopefully. Thank you very much.
Okay, Steve. Well, it's sort of a different take on our previous question. So I'm gonna punt to David and see if he'll pontificate a little bit more. K4FXC.
Yeah, KE7K and the net K4FXC. I believe I caught the whole question. They're talking about an end-fed half wave, I believe, and which orientation, where you have your feed line, whether you're connected to the far end of it or the close end. And the answer is, that's a real good question. And I'm not sure which would work really better. Certainly you'll have more coax in the loop, or not in the loop, but in the mixture, in the antenna system, if you feed it at the far end. And one thing you have to think about with an end-fed, any type of an end-fed antenna like that, is you have to have a counterpoise for it. So the longer coax likely would be helping to provide a counterpoise. Now, if that coax is under the antenna, then it may be canceling out some of the signals, that would be radiated from the antenna. So it is, maybe someone else has tried this and has a better answer, but the answer is I am not sure. I would tend to think you might have less chance of RFI if you feed it at the far end and have the longer coax, but I am not 100% sure at all. So it's, of course, with feeding near the near end, you've got shorter coax and you've got, less, potentially a little bit less loss and potentially, less distance to have to worry with problems. So there may be that may be a trade-off as well. Anybody else got some thoughts? K4FXC.
Nothing heard. Steve, we're kind of running on a skeleton crew here with the TechNet the last couple weeks with Charles being out. If that answer didn't help you, or if you want to try again next week, come on back. Hopefully Charles will be here, and he's also real good with these antenna questions. So do you think you could come back next week, Steve? Or if you'd like to email Charles, KC6UFM. He's a writer, and I know he knows words.
I will come back next week. This is actually my first time finally making it to the net. So, I'll just come on back and ask him. I do have a quick follow-up question. My net is only about 24 feet, so I guess how high up should the ends of the inverted VV with the 24-foot high mast? Thank you very much for any answers you provide.
Dave, may I put you on the spot one more time?
Absolutely, and that's one I can help answer. Well, you have to think about it. The antenna is not working like a inverted V from the aspect of when you have it fed as a dipole in the center. The reasoning behind feeding it when you've got it configured like a dipole, and of course it is the same length as a dipole. It's a half wave. But when you feed it in the center, the configuration of the inverted V gives you a better impedance match at your feed point. So that is one of the reasons for the inverted V. A dipole that's hung horizontally doesn't necessarily have the best match for the coax. So an inverted V has an improved match closer to 50. In your scenario with it being an end-fed half wave, then while it's configured like an inverted V, it's not really acting like an inverted V. So the answer for the ends off the ground, the further you can get it, the better. And that is pretty nearly until you get up to upwards of a half wavelength in height for your bands of operation of interest. That is almost a guaranteed for any type you've got a configuration, because your efficiency of your antenna comes up. Even a lot of folks say, well, I want to run it as a antenna for near vertical instant radiation, NVIS, which is popular thought and everything with a lot of folks out there these days. Even that, the efficiency is better if you can get it higher all the way around, at least up about 30 to 40 feet in the air, and the performance is better just all the way around. So I would say certainly you've got limitations lots of times where you can't get it but so high, but as high as you can get it is the better. And everyone I've ever put together, K4FXC.
All right, very good, Dave. Appreciate that. And, I'm going to make a final call for any amateur radio-related technical questions. Now with your call sign. Final call.
4 Mike Sierra Alpha Mobile, North Queensland, Australia.
VK4 MSA. Good evening, Michael. Go ahead with your question.
I've just been intermittently listening while I've been out mobile. Really good group. Some interesting topics. So I just got a quick one in regards to thrust bearings. I don't know if anyone can help me out or let me know. There's a lot of commercially made thrust bearings for obviously antennas. And I read an article a while ago online. I think it was a tower company mentioned something about thrust bearings are really only for the lateral forces in keeping the antenna secure. And they made some comments in regards to the thrust bearings. Most of the ones, commercially made ones, are not really rated to take vertical loads. So, and that's one of the things that I thought thrust bearings did. It was to help assist reducing weight on the rotator with the vertical load. So I don't know. Yeah, he was sort of saying that really the rotator should take the weight, and the thrust bearing is really only for the lateral forces. So I don't know if anyone knows much about that. I've sort of on the net. Some are saying no, that they're good to be able to use for reducing the weight on the rotator, allows you to remove the rotator, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, just need to see if there's any views on that in regards to thrust bearings on antenna systems, and whether they should be, the rotator should solely look after the weight of the antenna system. Anyway, it'd be quite interesting to know. Just an introduction, my name's Mike, or Michael, but Mike on the radio, and I'm located North Queensland, city of Townsville, up there near the Great Barrier Reef. So, I'll put it out there to anyone that might know anything about that. This is Victor Kilo 4, Mike Sierra Alpha Mobile.
Well, welcome to the net, Mike, and that's definitely a question we don't get very often, actual physical stuff of towers, so let's throw it out to the group. Anybody with a comment on Michael's question, or Mike's question, about the load carrying capabilities of thrust bearings as far as the vertical, the weight of the antenna, not necessarily the lateral wind load. If you have a comment, please come now.
K4FXC.
I'm going to put you in for a raise. David, go ahead.
All right. I get my mechanical engineering hat out here, put it on. I found it is pretty dusty. It was up on the wall. I would say that it certainly depends on the bearing design, but most bearings that I have seen being used as truss bearings very much were only intended to be used for lateral forces. They were not intended to, forces that are against the outside casing or pushing vectors out, pushing toward the outside of the bearing case, not up and down in the bearing. They were not designed for that at all. And, so if you had a bearing horizontally in an antenna system so the rotor can rotate vertically and then have load up and down on that bearing, then you are going to pull it apart with much load at all, has been my experience with most of them. Now, you can find bearings designed in a whole lot of different ways, and you probably could get some bearings that would tolerate load in other directions as well, but the bulk of the bearings that are like wheel bearings, for example, and whatnot. Now, you can find some that are like roller bearings that are very shaped so that they won't come apart, and they would probably work okay in that application. But that's not what I've seen in the case with most thrust bearings used with rotors. So with the ones that I've used and all, the rotor was designed to take the load. That all the weight was on the rotor itself. And only lateral forces own the thrust bearing on the tower. So it's that's been my experience. Like I say, maybe you can probably find some that are designed differently, but certainly unless they explicitly say they're designed for vertical as well as lateral forces, I would be very cautious. That would be my take. K4FXC.
XFC, I think it is. Sorry about that. Hope I got the call sign correct. Thanks very much for that explanation. Much appreciated. I think I went the way I decided not to put the vertical load on the rotator, let the rotator do its work. The rotator I have on my antenna system is a 1000 DXC by Yaesu, and it's actually only rotating a 3-element tri-bander, so it's a pretty big rotator for that particular antenna, so I'm happy with that. And I've just left the bearing do the work of just supporting the top end of the mast, it's going well. So I think there are specific bearings. That's what these roller type bearings, or that can do the vertical weight on the and try and reduce weight off the rotator. But no, I'm happy with what I've got. A lot of weight on the, I've probably only got I don't have a lot of weight on the rotator anyway, and it's designed, I think that it's at over 200 and something, 250 kilos, I think the 1000's rated at. So I've got it set up, and I've just left it to just stabilise the antenna up the top for lateral forces. So thanks very much for that. I'll have to try and get on a bit more. I've heard you're on and off with different topics, and it's quite interesting. So I'll try and get on as much as I can. But thanks again. Thanks to the group. I'm almost home now, so I'll say 73s, and thanks very much. This is Victor Kilo 4, Mike Sierra Alpha, Mobile, Townsville, North, and I'll say 73s. Thanks a lot.
873, Michael. I think you said you're mobile, so mobile safe. And I talked to Peter, VK4PQ there last night, and very happy to have you guys connected up to us, and hope to hear you guys in the future. We're here every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. East Coast time. I'll let you do the conversion to your time there in Australia. Have a good week, and we'll talk to you next week. All right, that closes it up for me. I'm not feeling real good. I'm going to go lay down and pass it over to all knobs to the right, Roger. And he's going to go through text check-ins and general check-ins. Appreciate everybody's patience with me this evening. Lots of good questions, lots of good answers. Over to you, Roger, KE7K. KO4QM KE7K.
Well, this is all knobs to the right, Roger. I kind of like that. That's pretty good there. You take care of yourself, Kevin, and man, that was a great job getting a lot of those first-time check-ins tonight, too. And, yeah, he's been showing everybody his dislocated finger. Just happens to be the middle one. You know how that goes. Good evening, everybody. This is KO4QMM Roger in Umatilla, Florida. I'll be your net controller for the rest of the evening if all goes well. And as you heard, our question of the evening is, have you ever operated a special event station? And I have not. Maybe someday I'll get to do that. Sounds like fun. And if you're new here, this is the East Coast Reflector Tuesday night TechNet here every Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Been going on for like 13 years, so we're continuing on. And I'll start out with the tech check-ins. I'll go through those, probably about, looks like about 10 of them, 12 of them. Then I'll call for general check-in. Stand by. All right, bottom up, and then we'll start with the top. W2RBC, Randy West Seneca, New York, one of our team members there. KI5PMI, Bill, Hobbs, New Mexico. K7FPS, Fred, Reno, Nevada. W2PL, Sal, Cheektowaga, New York, one of our teammates. K6ADS, Andrew, Glen Burnie, Maryland. KQ4YYN, Joe, Franklin, Georgia. N7WZI, Allen, Oregon. K6AAN, Mike, Valley Springs, California. K8BYU, Roy, Blaisdell, New York. WA2UUS, Joel, Buffalo, New York. KK4SED, Les Claremont, Florida. And top of the list, Bob, Gallatin, Tennessee. KD2JPP, good evening, Bob. And have you ever operated a special event station? Over.
Hey, Roger, good evening, and everybody else on the net. As far as tonight's question, I have not operated a special event station. Maybe someday. On that, everybody have a good night. Stay safe. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll send it right back to net control.
You have a good night, too, Bob. Thanks for joining us. And yes, Vicky's doing KAPKY, and we've had Scott on backup in case anything happens, and 7FGP, always good to have backup. Les, Claremont, Florida, KK4SED, good evening, Les.
72 degrees here in Claremont. Hey, in the last 2 days we've had 4.5 inches of rain, so things are looking good. No, I have never operated at a special event here in Florida. KK4SED, back to net.
QSLS, yes, we have had some good rain the last couple of days, man, and it was great come through today pretty early, around 1 o'clock p.m., and really cooled things down, too. Thanks for joining us. Joel, Buffalo, New York, WA2UUS. Good evening, Joel. Have you ever operated special event station?
Roger and everyone else on the net tonight. As to the question, yes, briefly, on the USS Little Rock in our Buffalo Naval Park, W2PE, which is the Radio Association of Western New York, operates in the summer with other museums of the sea, and I served on the USS Boston many decades ago, and it brings back memories, but I did it briefly. I wish everyone a nice week ahead. Be well and be safe. Thank you, Roger and Vicky.
Thank you for joining us and get away from the world for a little while and have some fun with the East Coast Reflector Tuesday night TechNet. And yeah, man, I
ships. They were doing something a few weeks ago. A lot of different ships, and yeah, I had fun getting those. There's a lot of museums and stuff they do radio from. Thanks, Joel. Roy, Blaisdell, New York, KABYU. Good evening, Roy. KA8BYU. You there, Roy? Is that you, Roy? You're breaking up. Like they said on the $6 Million Man, she's breaking up. She's breaking up. All right, Roy, you can come on back and we'll see if we hear you. Mike, Valley Springs, California, K6AAN. You there, Mike? K6AAN. Mike, you there? Alrighty then, I know Alan's there. Good evening, Alan from Oregon, N7WZI. Alan, have you ever operated a special event station? This thing working? Alan, you there? Shoot, we're really ripping through them. Joe, Franklin, Georgia, KQ4YYN. You there for me, Joe?
Roger, Roger. You know how long I've waited to say that? Hey, sorry about that. There's a little humor right there. Yes, I have. I operated the USS Alabama back in April the 13th and 14th. I forget what. It was on a Saturday. I think it was Saturday, Friday or Saturday. Had a great time, great time. And if you count the field day Saturday night when I got there about 10:30, 11 o'clock, until I left 7:30 in the morning, I also had a great time. That was a club call sign W4 four-wheel drive. I know Miss Vicky will like that one. FWD. And I heard somebody mention about somebody new to the hobby and enjoying the hobby and so forth like that. For all the new people, it's just like owning a Jeep vehicle. That stands for just empty every pocket, because if you get involved in it, you're going to spend some money. But anyway, Roger, give it back over to you, sir. I think I've taken enough time. Yes, if you count the field day, yes, the other day, and the USS Alabama, and I had to go look and see what the call sign was on that, but I did. I had operated that for about 15 minutes. I had a great time, I tell you, down in Mobile. This is KQ4YYN. Back to you, Roger.
Well, I certainly thank you for coming back to my call there, Joe. And you had us at yes as soon as you said museum there, the ship museum. And from me to you, thanks for out there doing it. I appreciate answering a lot of those calls from the people that do the special events. So thanks again, Joe. Andrew, Glen Burnie, Maryland, K6ADS. Good evening, Andrew. maybe I should have called for in and outs and mobiles or something missing here. K6 ADS, Sal. Andrew, you there?
Hey, Roger. Now, I don't want to say anything, but the propagation might not be good up there in the northeast corner over there. Over.
Hey, I'll take that propagation stuff on the HF radio, but it doesn't fly on this. Thanks for coming back, Joe. You have a good evening. All right, I know this guy is here. I'm looking at him. W2SAL, Sal, Cheektowaga, New York. Have you ever operated a special event station, Sal?
With an affirmative yes. And why are you trying to confuse me? You're
Got it, my friend. And yeah, it's always good hearing you on the 20 meters net too, along with everybody else that gets in there, our little round table. Have a good evening, Sal. Thanks again. This is KO4QMM, Roger in Central Florida, your net controller for the East Coast Reflector Tuesday Night TechNet. Check out eastcoastreflector.com if you haven't heard of us before. eastcoastreflector.com, all one word. You'll like what you see, especially if you like ham radio. Fred, Reno, Nevada, K7 FPS. Good evening, Fred. Have you ever operated as a special event station?
Roger, Vicky, and everyone on the net, and I hope you feel better, Kevin. Yes, I have. I was part of the Aries for the last Reno Air Show here in Reno. And I've done a few other events as well, and yes, I was out this weekend for the field day thing. Anyway, put me down for yes. K7 FPS. Back to you, Roger.
Yes, it's amazing what you'll hear on HF radio too, because I've heard the airplanes in the background and some of them museum special events. So, yep, thanks for getting in there, Fred. You have a wonderful evening. Bill, Hobbs, New Mexico, at 5 PMI. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, everybody on the net. No, I have not operated as a special station. Hope everybody has a great night. KI5 PMI. Back to net.
You have a good evening there too, Bill. And good evening, Randy from West Seneca, New York, one of our team members here, W2RBC. What do you think, Randy? We ought to do a special event, 20-meter net sometime, using the W2 ECR or something. To you, Randy.
Good evening, Roger, Vicky, and everyone on the TechNet. No, unfortunately, I never operated a special event station. Yeah, I'd like to try it sometime, Roger. We'll give it a try. Back to net control, 73 to all, W2 RBC.
That would be neat. We'll have to talk to Vicky and the Godfather about that. Have a good evening, Randy. Thanks for joining us, as always. Mark, Plymouth, Minnesota, N0CKV. Good evening, Mark.
Good evening, Roger. Rest of the TechNet. No, I have not. Special event station. Everybody have a great rest of the week. And 0CKV back to net.
You do the same, Mark. Thanks for joining us tonight. We got 3 more text check-ins, and then I'll do mobiles and general check-ins, in and outs, whatever you got. Remember, nice and slow and break it up a little bit. Let's go to Craig, Oakland Park, Florida, K4MMX. Good evening, Craig.
Good evening, everybody. The answer to the question is no. I've been invited one time to go to a special event station, and I declined, and that was probably a pretty stupid decision in hindsight. So, no, but open to doing it if the situation presents. K4 MMX, back over to you, Roger. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, and you have a good evening there. And let's move on to Jose, Austin, Texas, KJ5MEL. Good evening, Jose. And have you ever operated as a special event station?
No, unfortunately not. But I'm willing to, and I'm looking forward to it. Operating a special radio station. One of these days I'll get my chance. Bless you all. Have a great day, or a good evening, Roger and Vicky and all of you out there at the net.
And thank you, Jose, for your wishes there. You have a wonderful evening, too, and we'll see you tomorrow. Dave, my buddy from Ypsilanti, Michigan, WB8ODF. Good evening, Dave. Have you ever operated as a special event station? Over.
Well, good evening, Roger, and Kevin and Vicky doing the logging this evening. Yes, I have. Since 1969, I've done a number of event stations. Can't name them all off the top of my head. I would have to look them up, but yes, I have. So put me down for a big O-Y-E-S, WB8ODF.
And Vicky did just that, Dave. It was good seeing you guys have fun with Joe and Press up there. A lot of good eating, and looked like you guys had a good time up there. Thanks for joining us this evening. And Randall, Spring, Texas, K5RLR. Good evening, Randall.
Good evening there, Roger and Vicky and everybody else on that thing. K5 RLR. Well, simply put, no. I've never operated a special event call station. I have participated in helping activate some, but never done one myself. But you know, I got an idea. I'll throw this out there. Let the powers that be decide. Maybe we should do one for Dick, just for his well wishes and wishing him to get better. Hope everybody has a good 72. K5RLR, back to you, sir.
Thank you, Randall. You have a good evening and wonderful evening. And that was it. And Alan's going to try again. You usually do the old drive-by, Alan. I was surprised. N7WZI. Good evening, Alan.
Oh, yeah, I checked in early, and then I laid down, took a nap. And then when my name was called, I woke up, looked at the clock, and said, uh-oh, this was my turn. No, I've never been a special station.
right, Alan. Vicky got you down for a no. Thanks for joining us. And Vicky's been doing a great job as always, KE8BKY, and I am KO4QMM. And we are now taking general check-ins. Anybody who would like to get away from the world a little bit, join us. And our question is, have you ever operated as a special event? Come with your call signs, 12, break them up, mobile, in and out.
This is Whiskey 5 Bravo Charlie. Mobile. Short time. Whiskey 5 Bravo Charlie. Mobile short time.
W2 GUT Whiskey 2 Golf Uniform Tango Mobile.
This is Whiskey Alpha 9 Zulu Papa Mike, WE9ZPM, suburban Chicago, Illinois.
Number 4, Romeo Hotel Echo.
KJV,
November 4, Romeo Hotel Echo.
Zulu Sierra 2 Echo Charlie. Zulu 2 Echo Charlie.
Is Kilo Bravo 8 Whiskey Tango Alpha. In and out.
This is Kilo Romeo 4 India Charlie Alpha KR4 ICA Randy West Palm Beach, Florida. We got KR4 ICA Randy Royal Palm Beach, Florida. N7 FGP Scott Jamestown, New York. Excuse me. KB8 WTA in and out Daniel Cleveland, Ohio. Thanks Daniel. Have a good evening. ZS2 EC Tom Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Back to you, Tom. And W2KJV Tony, Homosassa, Florida, one of our team members. And where was I? Tony. N4RHE Roger, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. WA9ZPM Mike, Crestwood, Illinois. W2GUT Mobile Ed, Cheektowaga, New York. We'll be right back to you, Ed. K2CMT, my buddy Mike in Seabury, Florida. And W5BC Mobile, real quick like Bill, Lumberton, Texas. Have you ever operated as a special event station, Bill? Yeah, thanks guys. Nice net. I started trying to get in earlier, but by the time I tried to get in, I was where I was going to go eat dinner, so I figured I'd get in here later, and I did. Thank you. And yes, I have done a special event station for several years. We did the Lighthouse, Bolivar Lighthouse in Bolivar, Texas, down here near Galveston. And then we did we did special event station at the Gladys City for the Boomtown oil celebration, annual celebration there for the oil in Beaumont there as a special event station, and we had a lot of fun, made a lot of contacts, and it was worthwhile deal. But yes, I did. Thank you very much for picking me up, W5BC.
We got you in there, yes, Bill, and thanks for joining us. And yeah, I should have called for mobiles right off the bat, but I forgot. Those things happen. I got to skip right over my buddy Mike and go to the next mobile. Ed, Cheektowaga, New York, W2GUT. Good evening, Ed.
Oh, good evening, everybody. I don't get a chance usually to hop into this net, but I figured as long as I heard it going on, we stopped by. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a few smoking days over here in Buffalo area. Mid-80s to 90s, one more day, I guess, and maybe several after that. Special event station, yes. that caught my ear. Myself and a few of my friends, decades ago, did the first ham radio contact with NA-1SS, with the space station, the first contact in Western New York. We had a whole slew of youngsters. We did it in a classroom in Wyoming County, set everything up, had everything on the roof, did that, got everything run. We had, I think, all 3 Buffalo TV stations in, and we all got a chance to talk, and it was super duper for a special event station. Hope everybody has a good rest of the week. GUT back to them.
Thanks for sharing, Ed, and we appreciate it. Have a good evening there. Safe travels. Back up to my buddy Mike, DeBerry, Florida, K2CMT. Hey, Mike, we got the 13 colonies coming up. Do believe it's July 1st to July 7th, and I'm sure you'll be chasing them down. And on that, another question, have you ever operated as a special event station, Mike? No, Mike wouldn't do that to me. K2CMT.
Mike, K2CMT.
Was it just me that missed everything you said, or all I heard you say was your call sign?
As I could, Roger. But the answer to the question is no, not yet.
Boy, I wish you'd just get to the point. Boy, rag chew, rag chew, rag chew. Have a good night there, Mike. Nice talking to you. Let's move on to another Mike. Crestwood, Illinois, WA9ZPM. Good evening, Mike.
Okay, well, good evening, everybody. This is W9ZPM. I have not operated any special event stations of any kind. One thing I'm doing here, if you notice, I got a radioless node, and I've got a microphone on here that probably isn't used much in ham radio today, but it used to be. It's an electro voice microphone that came out in the mid-1950s and was popular throughout the 60s, and just wondering how it's doing. Other people have given me good reports on it. This is W9ZPM.
Well, I have to be honest with you, Mike. Sounds good. Had to make you wait there for a second. Thanks for joining us. Have a good evening. Roger, my buddy from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, N4RAG. Roger, have you ever operated a special event station? Over.
Q4QMM. Good evening, Roger. I appreciate your smooth conducting of the net. November 4, Romeo Hotel Echo. Yes. However, I will not be participating in the 13 colonies because these original colonies decided not to participate in the Great American State Fair. Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, North Carolina. This is painful and sets a bad example. Opting out only hurts the youth who will one day govern. November 4, Roger, I'm enthusiast. Return to net.
Well, you always tell us how you feel. No problem with that, Roger. You have a wonderful evening. Thanks for joining us. Tony, Homosassa, Florida, W2KJV, one of our teammates here at ECR. Good evening, Tony.
Good evening, Roger. You're sounding usual. Good evening, Dickie, and everyone on the TechNet. The answer to the question is a big no. never have operated a special event station. Hope everyone has a great day and a great evening and a better tomorrow. Back to you, Rogers, W2KJV.
You have a good evening too, Tony. I meant teammate. I was teammate, like we're in some kind of game together here. Have a good evening, Tom. Port Elizabeth, South Africa. Haven't heard from you in a while. ZS2EC. Good evening, Tom. And have you ever operated as a special event station?
Good evening to everybody. Some of the guys irritated me on the TechNet earlier when Kevin was asking questions. I keep it to myself. Special event call signs. There is non-Madiba a few years. I enjoyed that, using that call sign for a year. And then there is 100 SRL call sign, nearly 5,000 QSOs on special event mode. ST8 and SSB, but that's about it. Use a few during the year. Those are the special call signs I used, or what we call special event call signs I used the last few years. So it's a yes from me. Roger, back to you. It is to Echo Charlie. Thanks for joining us, Tom. It really does sound like fun, just getting a lot of contacts from a special event. You have a good evening. Daniel, Cleveland, Ohio, already. Oh, you were in and out. And we got Scott, another team member, Jamestown, New York, N7FGP. Good evening, Scott.
Good evening, Roger and Vicky and everybody out there. And the answer to the question is no, I have never operated a special event station, and since I am not. All right, over to you.
Oh, I'm sure you'd have fun at it, Scott. We'll see if it happens sometime. Have a great evening. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for backing us up. Randy, Royal Palm Beach, Florida, KR4ICA. Good evening, Randy. Have you ever operated a special event station? He might have been in and out. KR4ICA. You there, Randy? Just some kerchunkin', nothing much else. Joe, EC Slip, New York, K2AP, my 20-meter buddy. How you doing, Joe? And have you ever operated a special event station?
Good evening, Roger. It's always great hearing you. And also, thank you for reminding me about the 13 colonies. I'm going to have to say no. I remember I was a CW op for a maritime museum over here, but I don't remember if it was a special event or what it was. So I'd rather err on the side of caution and say no, but I don't remember why they met. Anyway, take care, and I'll see you on Thursday on 20 meters. K2AP, back to that.
Knowing you, Joe, you did, but Vicky put you down for a no. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great evening. This is KO4QMM. You're listening to the East Coast Reflector Tuesday Night TechNet. And last on this list is George from Madison, Alabama, AV1EX. Good evening, George.
Good evening to the net. Sorry about that one. The answer is yes. Back probably about 20 some odd years ago now, a couple of field days with the Blackstone Valley Amateur Radio Club in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Back to net. What do you want to get?
And I bet you had fun, George. Thanks for joining us. You have a great evening. All right, we're up to the point of taking more general check-ins, in and out, mobile, whatever you got. Come twice and slowly with your call sign, please.
This is KJ7QYG. That's Kilo Juliet 7 Q Quebec Yankee Golf Mick from Notai, Oregon.
K4 Fox X-Ray Charlie, K4 FXC David.
N2BH, N2BH.
W8AIR. Whiskey Alpha 5. Alpha India Radio. James Kearney.
Whiskey Delta 8, Papa India Charlie. Whiskey Delta 8, Papa India Charlie.
November 5, Alpha Bravo November. Victor, November 5, Alpha Bravo November, in and out.
Kilo Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Delta. Kilo Charlie 3, Foxtrot Golf Delta.
N2ZWR, N2ZWR, in and out.
Kilo Yankee 1, Delta India Sierra, KYS.
YS or KYS. You want to come back one time?
Kilo Yankee 4, Delta India Sierra, KY4D.
There was another one in there too we might have missed. It was, might have doubled with him. You there?
Delta 1, Delta Alpha. Alpha Delta 1, Delta Alpha.
All right, we got you, Doug. Was there anybody else?
W4FWN, W4 Foxtrot, Whiskey, November.
Three, Tango Golf November. Victor Echo 3, Tango Golf November.
All right, nice little list we got here. Everybody was pretty orderly, gotta say. VE3, TGN, Tim, Windsor, Ontario, Canada. W4FWN, Dan, Stanford, Florida. 81DA, Doug, Hutto, Texas. KY4DIS, Gary, Corbin, Kentucky. N2ZWR, Dan, Radford, Virginia, in and out. Thanks, Dan. Have a great evening. And KC3FGD, Ray, Elizabethtown, PA. N5ABN, Victor, Chandler, Oklahoma. Thanks for being in and out there, Victor. Have a great evening. WDHPIC, Bob, Sylvania, Ohio. N1NEW, Mike, Pembroke Pines, Florida, via text line. WA5AIR, Charlie, Montgomery, Texas. I do believe you said in and out, Charlie, but I'll double check with you. N2BH Bill, primarily in New York, one of our team members, and David Wilmington, North Carolina, K4FXC, and top middle line here, Mick, Nodi, Oregon, KJ7QYG. Good evening, Mick, and have you ever operated as a special event station?
KJ7QYG, I have not. Relatively new. I'm just excited I'm operating my 5100 ICOM and actually getting to the East Coast Reflector. So this is my joy right now. Maybe in the future, if I stay with this long enough. Great talking to you. KJ7QYG. Back to net.
Hey, Mick, your joy is our joy. You just keep that frequency right there, and you have a lot of fun. There's the morning brew every morning. Wednesday night, they have the open mic night. That's tomorrow at 8 p.m. Friday night, they have the youth net. All are welcome to there to support the youth. Saturday morning, 40-meter net, and Thursday's 20-meter net, 10 a.m. So there's that. Lots of stuff to have fun with. David, K4FXC. Good evening, Wilmington, North Carolina. One of our team members here helps us out a lot. Backing up old Charles tonight, David.
Yeah, K4FXC, looking forward to Charles and everyone getting back and being healthy and ready to rock and roll. We're missing part of the team here tonight, and looking forward to them being back at full speed. I say I have been part of a team operating a special event station in the past. Nancy, India 4 Bravo Kilo, a BB-55, a World War II battleship, museum ship here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and they're on the air for several events during the year, including the Museum Ships Weekend and Pearl Harbor Day related to military, also a CUSO party, and various other activations, scheduled activations each year. But definitely a lot of fun. Amazing what those old ships could do for being, looking at the radio gear and everything, for being late 1930s technology in the case of this World War II battleship. Of course, we're using more modern radios most of the time, but they have got some of the original radio gear working again. So I encourage you to take a look for it when it's on the air. Look at their website, Nancy India 4 Bravo Kilo, and it was NIBK was its original call sign. K4FXC back to net.
Yes, sir, David. Who knows? I might have talked to you on a special event. I love talking to them ships and in those radio rooms, and then I ask questions, what antenna are they using, the ship antenna, and man, it's neat. You can look at pictures on their QRZ page. They usually got pictures of it. So thanks. I'll take any more time. Bill, Palmar, New York, N2BH. Good evening, Bill.
Good evening, Roger, Vicky, Kevin, everybody. Yeah, last year our club did a special event station, 2 days for the Erie Canal celebration, and I made a 15-meter Russia contact on a short wire and QRP with my 6100 Zygo and 2BH.
Oh, good for you, Bill. Yeah, the person that got your contact too probably appreciate it. I always like those QRPs. I don't like being on the QRP side, but I like answering. Then we had Charlie. Man, it was good hearing from you, Charlie. Montgomery, Texas, WA5AIR. Good evening, Charlie, and thanks for joining us. N1, NEW, Mike, Pembroke Pines, Florida. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm not sure what you classify as a special event, but I'll go back in time a little bit to 1976. I was in junior high school. I was 12 years old in San Antonio, Texas. And every Saturday and every Sunday, I'd pedal my little bicycle over to Fort Sam, Houston, Texas. and I'd work at the Mars radio station on a volunteer basis. But what I did, I couldn't run the radios, but I operated the switchboard, where you take one plug out of one hole and put it in another, and vice versa. But you have to listen in, so that you know when to pull those plugs and move them. And I heard one of the most horrific things, families talking to their son, crying, hoping to God they get to hear him again next week, or they come home. It left an awful lasting impression. That's what I did. I hope you consider that a special event.
Thanks for joining us. Bob, Sylvania, Ohio, WD8PIC. Good evening, Bob. Have you ever operated as a special event station?
Mute.
Did I miss you, Bob? WD8PIC. Oh, well, if we missed you there, you might have had a phone call or something. Just give us a call back. We'll be here for a little bit. Ray, my buddy from Elizabethtown, PA, KC3FGD. I was listening to you this morning, Ray. You were fertilizing those hot peppers, I do believe. Have you ever operated a special event station?
Hey, good evening, Roger, everyone on the net. No, I have not. I'm not got into that yet. But yeah, the peppers, I get the irrigation on them this evening. About 3 hours of the Rainbird running this evening to keep those babies going, because we've got some very, very dry conditions here. So over to another, I have 4 gardens, so over to another one tomorrow. KC3, back to net.
Always good hearing from you, my friend, and what you're doing out there. And sorry about stealing all your rain and sending you all that heat from Florida, but we are enjoying this rain. It's actually kind of cool tonight. Let's move on to Gary, Corbin, Kentucky, KY4DIS. Good evening, Gary. And have you ever operated a special event station? Gary, my friend, we got your answer, yes, but you were very broken up. Sound like you were just out of reach. Thanks for joining us. This is KO4QMM. You're listening to the East Coast Reflector Tuesday Night Tech Net. Check out eastcoastreflector.com. See what it's all about. Doug, Hutto, Texas, AD1DA. Good evening, Doug.
This is the first time that I'm checking into this net. The answer to your question is no, I haven't had the privilege yet, but looking forward to the experience. That's net, AD1DA.
Vicky got you down for a note, Doug. You have a wonderful night. Thanks for joining us. Dan, Sanford, Florida, W4FWN. Good evening, Dan.
Well, good evening, Roger, and everyone else
W4FWN. Answer to your question is no. Never have done. Worked them, but never been in one. Roger, could you give me the 20-meter frequency for the Thursday net again? I'd appreciate it. Back to net control. WN.
Oh, absolutely, Dan. It is 14.317. 14.317. Give or take a kilohertz. I usually try to get in there early and save it, but sometimes you have to look at it. And you can always go to the log sheet, too. Randy will put where we're at on the log sheet, but hopefully we're always on 317. Try to get in there early. We got a bunch of friends that do round table and try to keep the frequency and stuff, so works out good. That's at 10 a.m. on Thursday morning, 14.317. Tim, Windsor, Ontario, Canada, VE3TGN. Good evening, Tim. Good evening, Tim, and have you ever operated as a special event station?
Next. Definitely, yes. I worked Easter Island from Dayton, Ohio, and I worked the Canary Islands here in Portugal there on and 20 meters over. Good copy on everybody. I'll say something. And it was very exciting. I got a nice postcard from the special event station there from the Canary Islands on my wall there in my apartment.
Oh, I love getting those postcards. They're pretty cool. I got to make up my own someday and send them out. Even maybe the electronic ones, the emails, they're pretty cool. Thanks, Tim. You have a wonderful evening there. And, man, we're getting down to the checker flag, I imagine, here. 72 check-ins, not too bad this evening. Anybody else would like to come in, answer the question of the evening, get in the log book, come with your call sign twice and slow. W4HKL, W4HKL.
This is 9 Yankee 4 Delta X-ray. 9Y4DX. Bertram. I'm doubling it somewhere.
Kilo Golf 4, WHO, KG4, WHO, Daniel, Mountain Falls, in and out, please.
Kilo Foxtrot 8, Golf, Quebec, November. Kilo Foxtrot 8, Golf, Quebec, November. Nick, Royal Oak, Michigan, in and out.
Speak Kilo 4, Alpha Delta Foxtrot. My name's Jason. And I'll just be in and out and listening. Thank you.
All right, got a little list there. Anybody else want to join us? Kind of getting down to the last call here for the East Coast Reflector Tuesday Night TechNet. Last call. Get in here.
6 CWI, Kilo Delta 6 Charlie Whiskey India.
Oscar Zilla Golf, M5 OZG Mobile.
All right, that's a nice little list there. And we got that mobile N50ZG Joe, Louisiana. I'll be right back to you. We had VK4ADF Jason from Australia in and out. Thanks, Jason. Have a good evening. Nick, KF8 GQN from Michigan, Royal Oak, Michigan. You have a good evening there, Nick. Thanks for waving a hand. And KG4WHO, Daniel, Winchester, Virginia. I like that call sign. And my buddy Bertrand at 9Y4DX, Trinidad and Tobago, W4HKL, Steve, Cumberland Gap, Tennessee, and top of the list, Ruben from California, KD6CWI. I had your text there, Ruben, so we did have you in there. Have you ever operated as a special event station, Ruben?
Haven't yet, but looking forward to it down the line. And thank you for doing the net. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm wishing everyone a wonderful evening. KD6CWI.
Thanks for joining us, Ruben, as always, and I've been enjoying it. Nice little list tonight to keep me busy. And let's move to Steve, Cumberland Gap, Tennessee, W4HKL. Good evening, Steve.
Well, good evening. No, I have not operated a special event station. And anyway, enjoying the net, doing a great job, and back to net control, W4HKL.
Hang on there, Bertrand. I always tell these mobile people I'm going to be there first, and I never do come back. Joe, you still there? Louisiana N50ZG. Good evening, Joe.
Good evening to you, Net Control, and everyone on the net. As we all know, the name is Joe. However, my wife calls me something else, but I can't say on the radio. Anyhow, no, well, I can't say we be a special event. We're kind of like a president for a club, but we use the club's call sign, and that's only for field day. So, anyway, that's about it. Back to you, Net Control. This is N5OZG Mobile down in the greater New Orleans area.
Joe, glad I got back to you there. Happy mobiling along. My buddy Bertrand, 9Y4DX from Trinidad and Tobago, always here greeting us on the East Coast Reflector Tuesday night TechNet. Bertrand, have you ever operated as a special event station? Back to you.
Well, a pleasant evening to you, Net Control. KO42MM, Roger. This is 9Y4DX, Bertrand, and as you're correct, I am located in Trinidad and Tobago, and we are in the Caribbean. Well, let me extend a pleasant evening as well to all of the stations. Hope you're doing well this evening, and cool. Well, Roger, answer to the question is no. I have not operated a special event station. I was very close to having that done one time when there was a little storm coming to Trinidad, but it did not materialize because the storm did not come the way it was supposed to. So that's it from me. Back to you, Net Control, KO4 This is 9Y4. Yes.
You have a wonderful evening there, Bertrand. Thanks for joining us as always. And we'll catch you next week, same time, same channel. That goes with all you ham radio addicts out there. And hope you had a good evening. I had fun. And on behalf of WB2JPQ, Dick, that we're missing tonight, that made this great system here, and Vicky, K8VKY, done a great job of logging tonight. Kevin, VE3BZ, Scott, N7FGP for backup. And Kevin did a great job this evening, KE7K. And thanks for joining us. That pretty much got everything there. And don't forget, tomorrow night, 8 p.m., open mic night. A lot of fun. Friday night, 8 p.m., Usenet. Thanks to all for having some fun tonight. Now we can turn the Reflector back to its regular amateur use. This is KO4QMM, Roger Clear. 7-3.